Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hello to everybody. Woo. Boy, we got a lot of stuff going on in the United States of America. And I'm going to be touching on some of the situations that I see that I don't feel is right. Um, Everybody is welcome to come in and express their opinions. You know, we can respectfully disagree to agree. What I'm going to talk about today, just so y'all know, I want y'all to know what EBT and SNAP. I'm glad you're doing great. So, SNAP benefits are administered by the USDA, which is the Food and Nutrition Service. They have specific restrictions on what can be purchased. SNAP benefits can be used to buy food for household consumption, including fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, fish, dairy products, and some snack food. However, SNAP cannot be used to purchase items like alcohol, tobacco, non-food items, cleaning supplies. Now, I need you to know what qualifies people to be able to receive SNAP benefits. Okay? So let's clear something up why people are, you know, oh, everybody's getting food stamps and all of that. In order to qualify for food stamps, and this comes, see, I'm gonna come with facts, and this is according to the website. Okay, see, I'm gonna come with facts, not my opinion. So this comes from the United States government website, Health and Human Services. The information that I'm giving you. Oh, okay. Hey, TNT, I gotta go in because some people had messed with my mod, so I gotta go back and give you a wrench. So the website for USDA.gov, the main requirement for SNAP includes having a house income at or below 130% of the federal poverty line, monthly income after deducting recognized costs like housing, and they have assets below 2,500 in value. So people that are receiving food stamps, okay, they aren't rich and they aren't middle class, okay, and they don't own stuff, okay. So y'all can throw that myth out the window. And even if they do, it has to be less than 2,500 in value. And we all know that the United States government, with all of the computers, we do know that they check this stuff. You know, these people know, they know now how much your income is, what you have, because everything's in the computer. Okay? Now, me, as a woman on disability that has worked all my life, and you know, we get a livable amount of money on disability. I worked for 40 years. So I only get $23 a month in food stamps. With the high cost of food now, it needs to be $400 a month. See, I don't even know how they come up with these guidelines. And I need people to know these guidelines, it don't matter if it's who's in house, Republican or Democrats, okay? It don't matter. These guidelines been the same. I've only been able to get $23, okay? And I've been getting disability since 2017, okay? And so ain't none of them gave a darn about disabled people making sure they eat right. The only time we got extra money is when it was COVID. Now, now the government, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has come up with some new restrictions, okay? He's come up with new restrictions.
It's deviating.
And wait a minute, hold on.
Cyclical.
Dr. Thorner, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced states can now stop people from using federal food assistance to buy soft drinks. He made the announcement during an appearance in West Virginia. Recently, Governor Patrick Morrisey signed legislation banning foods containing 7 artificial food dyes and 2 preservatives. West Virginia is the first state to do so. Kennedy has been outspoken about the health dangers of dyes and processed food.
We have a public health crisis in this country, and unfortunately, West Virginia is leading the way. It's the highest obesity rate of any state in our country. This year, you pulled ahead of Mississippi.
Kennedy is leading a major overhaul of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, calling the department inefficient. This week, Kennedy announced he was laying off 10,000 workers and shutting down entire agencies.
So,
Finally tonight, here the sun refusing to get out of the.
let me tell y'all something. All of those dirty, no good politicians, regardless what side they own, that have salaries of 200 and something $1,000 a year, okay, who don't even go to the grocery store, They order their groceries. They can order quality food. Now, they are making decisions on how we, the middle class, the poor people, the disabled, the veterans, the homeless, they are making they are making 200 and something $1,000 a year, and they want to tell poor people what they should eat. Get the fudge out of here. And you're right, Shatika. They have private chefs. They got people cooking their food. Hey, the realist, uh, Miss Miss T and T. Hold on, y'all. T and T family, young Riaz, Joshua. Now, so now the government wants to tell people what they can eat and drink. We're not paying for pop. Okay, we know pop ain't good, but there's also diet pop. They don't want to pay for snacks anymore. Okay? No more little Debbie snacks. They don't want to pay for anything. The government wants to tell you what you should eat now. A lot of people that are lower class survive off processed and junk foods. Okay? But you want to tell me what I'm supposed to buy because you set these guidelines up. Hold on. Who is it? Okay, I'm back. So now they're telling people like what they can buy and everything. So let me show you another video. Bear with me, y'all. I just had a neighbor knock on my door. Hold on, y'all. I had a neighbor come wish me a happy birthday. Um, yeah, there's my pie. I made mine. So we got the United States government who's come up with these stupid guidelines and these rules. And don't get it twisted. You know, pop, all of those snacks, you know, don't say what you're not gonna pay. That might be a treat for a kid. That might be a treat for them once a week. Then on the opposite side, you got people saying, oh, well, they need to learn how to bake. Well, you need to learn how to bake too. Okay? Hold on. I'm so sorry, y'all. I had somebody to knock on my door. So here's another video that I'm going to show you.
How does facing Americans? One way is by not allowing taxpayer-funded benefits to be used to purchase unhealthy items like soda, candy, and other junk food. The number one purchase by SNAP recipients is sugary drinks. SNAP is a supplemental nutrition program meant to provide health food benefits to low-income families to supplement their grocery budget so they can afford the nutritious food essential to health and well-being. That is the stated purpose of the SNAP program. The law states it, and President Trump's USDA plans to deliver on it alongside our partners at HHS. So today, I'm proud to sign 6 more waivers for Florida, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Colorado. This is in addition to the waivers we've already signed for Iowa, Indiana, and others across the country. I continue to encourage states to be laboratories of innovation. Think through how you can promote healthy families and healthy communities. And because of our historic partnership, USDA and HHS, and the visionary leadership of the governors here with us today and of the states represented by the signings, we are doing something about it. These SNAP waivers are just one piece of the MAHA effort. We work so closely together to encourage voluntary commitments to remove artificial food dyes, among other things, from our food supply. And together we are crafting sensical dietary guidelines for Americans that prioritize whole, healthy, and nutritious foods. Since my confirmation, our department has encouraged states to think differently and creatively about how to solve the many health issues facing Americans. One way is by not allowing taxpayer-funded benefits to be used to purchase unhealthy items like soda, candy, and other junk food. The number one purchase by SNAP recipients is sugary drinks. SNAP is a supplemental nutrition program meant to provide health food benefits to low-income families to supplement their grocery budget so they can afford the nutritious food essential to health and well-being. That is the stated purpose of the SNAP program. The law states it, and President Trump's USDA plans to deliver on it alongside our...
Now, do y'all get that BS that they talking? Okay. So y'all don't want people. You want them to eat healthy, right? You want folks to eat healthy? Well, you better give them some more money to buy some fresh produce. You want them to buy fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. That stuff costs money. Are you going to increase the food stamps for them to get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, the way you want them to eat? And you think that not allowing people to buy a candy bar, some donuts and stuff, that's supposed to be unhealthy? There might be people that sugar intake is low and they need sugar. Government is too much in our business. All these clowns want to do, now they want to control what we eat. So that means no more Little Debbie snacks, as my friend stated. So now, hey, we're going to see how this pans out. Since, all of these recipients of food stamps was buying the potato chips, the pops, and the sodas. They're eating what regular American people eat. So what about people that's getting ready to lose their jobs? Some of these companies might go under, like Little Debbie, Frito-Lay's, the potato chips. And who are they to tell us what the hell we should be eating? Ain't nobody telling not one senator, congressman that's making over $200,000 a year. And some of these people go to work. Sorry, they're just not allegedly crooked politicians. They chose to go to work. A lot of them chose to have kids. And they need a little assistance. But that don't mean you're going to tell them what the hell they need to eat. Fresh produce. You talking about a healthy living? Oh my goodness. It's expensive to eat healthy. It's expensive. I can't with these people. It is healthy. It costs a lot of money to eat healthy. Ain't no markets. When you go to the markets, places like Whole Foods, and buy fresh produce, fresh foods is expensive. These people are trying to tell middle class people and poor people and older people that's relying on food stamps to offset the cost of living. You shouldn't drink pop. Well, y'all shouldn't be crooks. You shouldn't be stealing all of the money. This is crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, just because a person is receiving food stamps, now the government wants to tell you what you should eat and what you can't eat. And all of you people that was out there, telling women to have their kids when some of them were thinking about not having them, and y'all want to say, oh, but have your children. When some women go to these clinics, where are all of you women at? You see, when the woman chose to have the child, because y'all done talked them into having the baby, but now you don't want to help them. Y'all hypocrites. Hypocrites to the finest. Hypocrites. Some people depend on this. Hold on.
We shouldn't just keep funding Medicaid and SNAP until the end of time. We should be trying to figure out why so many people are reliant on these programs. And I agree. Since 1979, worker productivity has increased by nearly 60%, but wages for those workers have only grown by 13.7%. During that same time, the bottom 90% saw their wages grow only 26%, while the top 1% saw their wages grow 160%, and the top 0.1% saw a 345% growth. And it shows in wealth too. As of 2025, the top 1% hold 31% of all U.S. wealth, and the top 0.01% hold more wealth than they did in 1929, all while millions of Americans struggle to afford basic needs like housing, healthcare, and food. That kind of imbalance didn't just happen on its own. It's the result of policy decisions, especially starting in the 1980s under Reagan. We cut corporate tax rates. We slashed the top marginal tax rate from 70% to 28%. We broke up labor unions. We deregulated industries, making it easier for them to consolidate power. And we cut public health and social safety programs. And these weren't just Reagan-era ideas and then forgotten. They've become the foundation of an economic model that we've supported across multiple administrations, regardless of party. At the same time, the federal minimum wage hasn't changed in 15 years, meaning it's worth far less today than it was back then, all while housing, healthcare, childcare, and food costs have surged. Millions of Americans work full-time, often with more than one job, and still can't.
Now, you see what this lady is saying. Minimum wage has not gone up. The companies aren't paying more, but everything else then went up. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Hey, Lions, Pride, Love Baby. You can't make this stuff up. The wages have not increased to keep up with the cost of living. You know, it just hasn't. And, you know, oh my goodness. So we're going to continue on listening to this video.
Sean here says that we shouldn't just keep funding Medicaid and SNAP until the end of time. We should be trying to figure out why so many people are reliant on these programs, and I agree. Since 1979, worker productivity has increased by nearly 60%, but wages for those workers have only grown by 13.7%. During that same time, the bottom 90% saw their wages grow only 26%, while the top 1% saw their wages grow 160%, and the top 0.1% saw a 345% growth. And it shows in wealth too. As of 2025, the top 1% hold 31% of all U.S. wealth, and the top 0.01% hold more wealth than they did in 1929, all while millions of Americans struggle to afford basic needs like housing, healthcare, and food. That kind of imbalance didn't just happen on its own. It's the result of policy decisions, especially starting in the 1980s under Reagan. We cut corporate tax rates. We slashed the top marginal tax rate from 70% to 28%. We broke up labor unions. We deregulated industries, making it easier for them to consolidate power. And we cut public health and social safety programs. And these weren't just Reagan-era ideas and then forgotten. They've become the foundation of an economic model that we've supported across multiple administrations, regardless of party. At the same time, the federal minimum wage hasn't changed in 15 years, meaning it's worth far less today than it was back then, all while housing, healthcare, childcare, and food costs have surged. Millions of Americans work full-time, often with more than one job, and still can't cover basic needs without assistance. And we wonder why public health is struggling in this country when millions of Americans can't afford healthy food, clean environments, stable housing, and access to healthcare. And let's talk about healthcare. In every other high-income country in the entire world, healthcare is universal and is a basic right. People don't need to rely on their job to access care. It's guaranteed, publicly funded, and not something they lose if their hours get cut or they get laid off. But in the US, we've tied healthcare to employment and then given corporations every incentive to avoid providing it. Because in the economy that many of us continuously support, corporations are not rewarded for taking care of people. They're rewarded for cutting costs and maximizing profits. So what do? Keep people part-time or classify them as contractors. They limit hours so they're not required to provide those benefits, and then they outsource that responsibility to the federal government. Let's take Walmart as an example. In 2024, Walmart brought in nearly $650 billion in revenue and made more than $15 billion in profit. One of the biggest ways they keep those profits high is by cutting labor costs wherever they can, minimizing wages, limiting benefits, and keeping many workers part-time. 2020 report by the Government Accountability Office found that Walmart was one of the top employers whose workers relied on Medicaid and SNAP. The 2014 report estimated that a single Walmart supercenter cost taxpayers $900,000 a year in government assistance and $6.2 billion combined. It's not that they can't afford to support their workforce, it's that they've chosen not to, and they've chosen to offload some of that responsibility onto the federal government in order to keep their profits, executive salaries, and stock prices high. But yes, we should be asking why so many people rely on these programs, and we should stop blaming the people struggling the most, which is exactly what the people who are benefiting from this system want you to focus on. Full-time workers still qualify for food stamps, when healthcare is a benefit that you might get depending on how a corporation classifies your job. The cost of living outpaces wages year after year, decade after decade. People aren't relying on these programs because they want to, just trying to get by in the very system we've built and continue to uphold. And that didn't just happen on its own. It's the result of deliberate policy decisions where...
So again, these lawmakers, hey, Renrock, Lions Pride, Queen Keith, Love Baby, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, she said it. Ain't nothing went up. Minimum wage ain't went up. And some people, they're working. They're out here working, going to work, trying to make a living, but due to the high inflation, they can't make it. And she's right. They want to blame us middle class people, us poor people, us people that's just barely making it. They want to blame the problem on us because they're sorry butts. Okay? But they want to sit up and act like we the problem. No, y'all the problem. Y'all the ones don't want to pay people. Y'all the ones that don't care. This is y'all fault. This is the United States of America's fault. Like they said, instead of trying to cut things, you need to figure out why. Why in the hell do all of these people that are working, you got women that's out here going to work, that's doing the right thing, and they are living, trying to make it, and they're trying to feed their kids. But since y'all don't want to raise the minimum wage, housing done went up. Everybody don't go to college. Even people that did go to college, some of them couldn't find degrees in their field. Some of them chose to keep their kids, have their children, and raise their kids. And now you, instead of keeping up with giving them a chance, giving Americans, everybody a chance to get a piece of the pie. What you dirty dogs do is you don't increase minimum wage. You don't increase a lot of things. And like they say, you know, you look at a place like Walmart and all of these. They don't give them, they give them a job, but they don't give them full-time hours. Some people are going to work. Some people are doing the right thing. And you got the United States government trying to tell them, well, talking about tax dollars. Some of these people are working. They're paying taxes, but they need that extra money. So get that out your mind that everybody that's on food stamps are not working. Okay? And then you got the homeless people. Poor things. Because they can't hold a job. Now you want them to try to work to get food stamps. Everybody don't have a car. I don't own a car. I don't own a car. You know, they got food pantries out here. They got other things. But don't let this United States of America government try to make y'all think that everybody that's receiving food stamps, like they're just giving away food stamps to everybody, and they are not working and they are not taxpayers. So a lot of these people that receive benefits are working people that need the extra money, the food stamps to make it. And if they want to buy them a pop, a sugar donut, or whatever, okay, then what you want to start talking about what American people should be eating? Well, start at the top. But you want to cut in on the poor people. Lord, I can't make this up. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah. So if right, love baby, if that's the case, if everything was so unhealthy, y'all want American people to be living healthy, then God dang it, it wouldn't be no more McDonald's, Burger King, no more fast food restaurants. America is full of shit. The United States of America is full of shit. Okay? They are full of shit. And they always do things that's going to affect the poor people. And don't stop going along with that narrative that everybody that's getting food stamps or everybody that's on welfare is not working, because that's a complete lie. People need the additional help. Everybody don't have college degrees. And hey, they haven't even kept up. The lady said it. The lady said it all. If everybody got raises, including us, that's getting disability a month to keep up with the high cost, we wouldn't need food stamps. But that's their way of keeping control to keep the middle class, the poor, and the poor. And so don't get caught up in the hype that everybody that's receiving food stamps, and they talking about wasting tax taxpayers' dollars. Well, you know what? I hope that these people will sue the United States government because half of them are taxpayers. And you're not going to tell taxpayers what they should eat when you have not raised minimum wage in years. Then what y'all going to do when these companies go out of business? See, there's the flip side to this. And I'm sorry, some of y'all that go to work, y'all mad because you know y'all standing in line and y'all see people that's got link cards. They able to eat nice as they should be because a lot of them are taxpayers. Hey, Patty, a lot of them are taxpayers. So don't believe this narrative that they trying to push and say, like everybody that's getting food stamps, they don't work. The majority of people that's getting food stamps do work. They're doing it to offset their income. But now we got the United States of America, the government, trying to tell people that they shouldn't drink pop. They're not going to pay for their sugary foods. They can't have a donut or a candy bar. You can't make this stuff up. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, pop is bad. You know, all of them snacks, hell, I eat them all too. But I have that right. I have that right. And just because I get food stamps, you're not going to sit up and tell me what I should eat or what I can buy. And you want to stop people that's getting food stamps talking about the dyes in the food. Put a whole ban on it for everybody then. And I only get $23 a month. I say that's my coffee money because I want everything the government has for me because I done worked, I've been a taxpayer, and I don't need nobody telling me what I should buy, what I can eat. Okay? So yes, the United States of America is trying to tell people that receive food stamps. They have banned, I know in the state of Illinois, you could not buy pot or sugary products or snacks or candy. They want people to eat healthy. So if they want people to eat healthy and buy fresh fruits and vegetables and everything, the way they want them to live, okay, then they need to give them more money because buying fresh produce, fresh vegetables, fresh anything, you know, it's expensive. So you want to tell me what I can eat? Oh my God. And y'all got private chefs. Y'all don't even look at your receipts because y'all making over $200,000 a year sitting up there making decisions for poor people, middle class, people that's just trying to make it. You still want to keep people poorer Now you want to tell them what they can eat. Well, if a person wants, if their kids want to drink pop, that's their business. You ain't everybody's parents. You're right. And so, you know, so this is the latest. And like I say, if you think if Robert Kennedy Jr. thinks food with dyes in them are so bad and stuff, then get them removed off the market. If you think pop is so bad and all of these sugary things are so bad, remove them from the market. Okay? Remove them. Remove them from the market. Take them, let the companies go out of business. Don't tell the poor people, the middle class working people that's trying to get by, that you're keeping in bondage where they have to depend on the government. Stop selling the products to everybody then. And this is April Showers. And I thank y'all for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about the stuff that is going on in the United States of America. You know, how this current administration, things that are happening right now that are affecting people, you know, and they might mean well, but I don't see it right now. Thank you. All of y'all have a great day. And remember, we all know, what was that saying? You are what you eat. Yes, we are what we eat, but we have a choice. And if I want to drink 20 pops a day and I want to buy 10 candy bars and I want to eat Little Debbie Swiss rolls and oatmeal pies, that's my doggone business. Everybody, peace out and have a great day. This is April Showers. I'm out.